Looking at number 2, we have to sketch the graph of y equals the absolute value of 5x plus 7, showing the coordinates of the points where the graph meets the coordinate axis. So, axes. So this is the x-axis, this is the y-axis, so we just need to make sure and document where it crosses those. So, with an absolute value, we have a couple steps to follow. The first thing that we need to do is set that absolute value, whatever's in the absolute value, 5x plus 7, and we set that equal to 0. So we subtract 7, and we have 5x equals negative 7, divide by 5, x equals negative 7 over 5. Since there's no numbers on the outside of the absolute value, this is our x-intercept. So y was 0 and x is negative 7 over 5, which a fraction is really difficult to graph. So I put this in my calculator and I got negative 1.4. Decimals are a little bit easier to graph, and you will have a calculator, a scientific calculator on the test. So let's go ahead and graph that. So negative 1, I need to put some numbers on my graph. So here's negative 1, negative 2, negative 3. We have 1, 2, 3 that way. So we can go ahead and graph negative 1.4. So negative 1.4 is a little bit less than half. It's not going to be exact, but we're going to do our best. Okay. Next thing, we need points on either side. So they didn't give us a boundary of where to look. We're kind of looking forever. So I would just plug in either the next number or the number after that. Don't want to get too big, but if I plug in negative, if this is negative 1 and this is negative 2, I'll plug in negative 2. So I have the absolute value of 5 times negative 2 plus 7. So this is negative 10 plus 7, absolute value of negative 3 is positive 3. So it's negative 2, positive 3 is another point that I can plot. So negative 2, positive 1, 2, 3. And we'll put another point here. And on the other side, instead of plugging in negative 1, I'm going to plug in 0 because that will give me my y-axis coordinate, and they want both of those. So we need to make sure that we show those clearly. So let's plug in 5 times 0 plus 7. Absolute value of 7 is 7. So this point is 7. Wait, x value was 0, okay? Y value was 7. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have another point up there, and then we can draw our absolute value. You have a ruler. I would suggest using a ruler in this case. Make your lines as straight as possible. But there's our sketch of the graph showing the coordinates. Both coordinates are shown. We can even label these. 7, 0, and negative 2, 3. And yeah, there it is. Your graphs on your papers will be a little bit more clear than this. The next thing it asks us to do is solve this equation. So when we have an absolute value equation, that means the inside is going to be equal to 13 or negative 13. So we make two different equations, and we need to show our work here. So in order to get rid of the absolute value, we have 5x plus 7 equals positive 13, and 5x plus 7 equals negative 13. And then we just solve. Subtract 7 on both of them, so we have 5x equals 6, and we have 5x equals negative 20, and then we divide by 5 on both. So over here it stays a fraction, 6 over 5. Over here it divides evenly, and we get negative 4. And those are our two answers to this absolute value. And that's it for this problem.